We have Navigating Christmas. We just had one with good old Stephen Huser not too long ago. We just had a Royal Christmas Crush. That film was a awful film. It was bad. His accent was bad. The story was bad. It was just a bad film. This one, however, was all about a recently let's try it one more time. Recently divorced Melanie. Try saying that 4 times fast. She brings her son to a remote island for Christmas, where she connects with a lighthouse owner played by Stephen Huser. This one really didn't look all that intriguing to me because the last lighthouse films we've gotten, I was not all that intrigued with. We had one with Luke McFarlane, fantastic actor, loved the dude to death. His film, Mariah's Lighthouse, was very poor. We had Nantucket Noel with Trevor Donovan. That was a bad film. This one looked like it was going to be up that alley as well. For me, I enjoyed this film a heck of a lot more than I thought I would have. This movie works for me as a comedy, but also a romance film. One thing they did wrong, though, we'll get into that in just a minute. But the son here, he ends up as a bit of an unlikable character at the very, very beginning. He's your typical teenager, right? He's your typical teen. He's just on his phone all the time and wants to play his video games and Wi-Fi and all this stuff. Then he meets this girl. The girl he ends up flirting with and becoming friends with, super sweet. I love that relationship. I love that. The chemistry was there. It was more there than our lead couple here. That romance should have been the main focal point. However, they did something stupid by making them become friends. They're friends even though they were flirting this entire time. There was no scene where they went, okay, let's just slow things down and let's stay friends for just a little bit and see what happens. No, it's just okay. They're friends. They have a scene in a boat where she is watching the fireworks with him and cuddling up against him, and now they're just friends. Story forgotten. That's not how that works in real life, people. You are not going to cuddle up with a girl that you just met and you like her a lot and then say, hey, we're going to be friends. I'm sorry. You're friend zone from here on out. You're not getting out of that zone. But this movie worked for me on a comedy level. The comedy was there. I enjoyed both sets of couples. I didn't like the ending of one of their stories, but them adding in the story of Steven's character Peter selling Lighthouse, that should not have been in here because you didn't focus on that a whole lot. That was a subplot that should have been given a lot more story to, give it a more of an emotional impact. But I enjoyed this film enough to give it a 3.5 out of 5. With Steven, his films, I like him as an actor. I do. Good looking dude. He delivers good performances in other films. I don't know what happened with A Royal Christmas Crush, but that was just a complete misfire for Hallmark Channel. I don't know what happened there. But this film, I'm not saying it redeemed it, because it didn't. It's 2 separate films. This film worked as its own thing, and I enjoyed it enough to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Also, it's directed by Peter Benson. He has not directed a bad film. He has not been in a bad film either. He's a good actor, good director, and I like how he's doing both. His film last year, he did When I Think of Christmas. He also did The Wedding Veil Expectations earlier this year. Fantastic film. Time for Them to Come Home for Christmas and The Santa Stakeout, as well as Sweet Carolina. Wow. And The Professional Bridesmaid, Big Sky River, and Come My World with Love. So he's had a lot of films. This is by far one of his weaker films, but that's not saying anything because he's had some 4 or 5-star films on that list there for me personally. What did you think of this film overall? And then we can say whether we thought this film was better or Time for Her to Come Home for. No, we already know. We already know. But what did you think about this film?
It definitely started out rocky for me because I felt they were making the mom and the son very unlikable. The actor playing the son, he started out a little shaky with his acting for me personally in the beginning. He got better. I don't know if maybe he was just nervous when they first shot the first scene. and he got more comfortable when they got to the rest of the movie. But it definitely worried me in the very first quarter or so of it. But overall, this wasn't a terrible film. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. Like you said, I think the relationship with the daughter of the mayor should have been a actual romantic relationship instead of just a friendship. I think that was a complete misfire. And like you said, with the lighthouse deal of him selling that, definitely unneeded. And the reasoning behind it, they didn't really set up their reasoning very well when it comes to it. With the dad and stuff, it just didn't make sense because they never really talked a ton about his dad. So when you're saying that he's got to sell up for these reasons, to me, it didn't make sense because you didn't really set that up. Yeah. So, but still was fun. The chemistry was there. Still ain't a fan of Steven Hoosier. He kind of falls in that Trevor Donovan territory for me. His acting style is just not for me. But I still liked it enough to give it a 3 out of 5. So we're about the same for this one.